Welcome back, everyone. Today we're gonna do a video on work and travel. It's a general video, last video you'll ever need to watch on work and travel time.
Work and Travel 101.
101.
Yep.
I'm here with
Shamar Crossfield. I have a YouTube channel. Check it out. It's in the description.
first one up, preparation. If you're not start yet, you're already late. You're already behind. You
Pretty
should
much,
start
yeah.
like yesterday.
Yeah. You're already behind.
Yeah. So the first thing you should look out to is choosing a company, a work and travel company.
Yeah. Choosing a good one. You have a lot of the good ones. Some of them include SWAT. SWAT is a very notable one.
SWAT is like the one that's at UA. Most people know
Yeah.
it.
Also,
There.
the most expensive one, I think,
Yeah.
is SWAT Limited.
We have Snow.
Snow.
That's I
Mhm.
guess new one, but it's also very popular.
Yeah. You have First Class.
You have first class. So the one that's mainly for lifeguards.
Yeah. There's a lot of them. You
A lot
can
of
check
them.
on the Ministry of Labor and Social Security website. They list all the verified ones.
Mhm.
Because there's also a lot of scams.
Yeah, you
There's a lot of scam ones
you
out
will
there.
get scammed.
So you have to make sure, say, whichever one you're going with, make sure, say, it's verified by the Ministry of Labor and Social Security. That's the safest option.
Put a link in the description so you
Mhm.
can check to see if that work and travel company that you're interested in is verified.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, at this point, them usually open up their applications from like summer. So like July,
Mhm.
so like July, August is when applications open, and usually them full up by them time here.
Yeah.
For example, SWAT closed off the other day.
Yeah.
But sometimes things come up and them open up again.
Yeah.
Them
Like
open
if
up
they
again.
have any
More
vacancies,
spaces.
then they have a chance to open up.
Yeah.
But yeah. So we just talked about SWAT being expensive. So we need to talk about the funds. Right? So when choosing a sponsor, you have to think about the funds that you're gonna have to spend to towards the program.
hmm
And we said SWAT is the most expensive one, but it's also expensive for a good reason. Because,
There's a good trade-off. I've gone with SWAT all the times.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, we should probably preface this. I've been on travels three times.
twice.
He's been on it twice.
And I've went with two different companies while you've been with SWAT.
I went with SWAT all the time.
Yeah.
You went with SWAT and Snow.
Yeah, I went to SWAT once, went to Snow once.
And I was a stalker at Walmart. I worked at Walmart. I also had second jobs.
Mhm.
And I also was a amusement park ride operator.
Yeah, I've been a Walmart stalker as well. And the next one was the lifeguard. Those are the main jobs at least.
Yeah. But getting funds, the funds are split up for the sponsor. So, for example, we should probably give you a range. The highest, for example, is like 1890,
1890.
$1,890
Yeah, which is
for
a
the
lot.
program fee alone.
Which is a lot of money, and then that's not considering embassy fees,
Yeah,
That's
kind
not-
of embassy,
the plane ticket,
plane tickets.
the landing fee.
Yeah.
Because the landing fee is a fee that you need.
Because you need money when you
Yeah, you need money to survive while you're up
Money.
there. At least that first 2 weeks before you get paid.
Yeah, and the recommended amount is 1,000
It's
euros.
$1,000.
So when you do all of the maths, say you need about 3 grand, put on.
Yeah, just
Three.
put on.
Yeah, put on 3 grand in total for yeah, I'd say 3 grand.
Yeah.
It's the safest bet for how much you should have to go on the program.
Yeah. So yeah, and when you do all of this, you have to keep in mind deadlines. So I feel like that's very important in the preparation process. Like these companies are gonna ask for different documents, and you need to meet these deadlines to facilitate your program process. Moving along. But the
Yeah.
sooner you get up there,
Mm,
the sooner you get to make money.
yeah.
So
And you don't want like unexpected delays and all like that.
yeah,
Especially when you come on to embassy and thing and getting embassy dates.
yeah. If you wait
Yeah.
too long to the summer, then back up there and you're in the line
Yeah.
forever. Like get on it as soon as possible. If you're watching the video now and you start, just try and just
Get
get
started.
things rolling.
Get
Get
started.
things rolling because
There's
by your
companies
blink,
that are still
by your blink, a time to go. Next one up, choosing a job.
choosing a job.
Yeah, I think when you go into the different companies, they suggest different jobs. They're usually like a job list that you can choose from. So,
Yeah.
but we're just gonna mainly talk about the main categories of jobs.
The
at least.
ones that we've heard of at least.
Yeah, the ones
So-
that we've heard of or we can verify that
Are good,
are
are stable. So retail jobs are generally good. Particularly Walmart, I know is stable. Them not gonna really like lay off people
Yeah.
because like the places out Walmarts are
There's always
generally
something to do.
always busy, to be
Yeah.
honest. But you have some jobs, for example, like the amusement park worker,
Yeah,
ride
I've heard
operator, or even like a food service worker, just general work at an amusement park. If it is, you have good days and you have bad days. And for example, if rain is falling, they're gonna send you. They're gonna cut the hours because
Yeah.
nobody can ride the rides when the rain is falling. And so there's not much to really do. So they might cut the hours. Whilst they might cut hours at other jobs, like
Well,
in general.
if it gets too close to, like, for example, like September, when time come back and
Yeah.
realize say they don't need as
So
much
much
people,
people.
they cut back down.
Yeah,
But like a job like Walmart, where there's always a demand, you will be
Retail.
fine.
retail.
But that's
you know?
why I think within that category, Walmart is such a sought after job, and you're not gonna really see it on a lot of listings unless you're very fast. You have to
Mhm.
keep refreshing the pages, reach out to the company itself sometimes, and then get in touch with the sponsor and see what can happen.
Other jobs that are good, I
Other
think, are
jobs,
lifeguards.
lifeguarding is a big job
Mhm.
because as it relates to funding, it's one of the cheaper ones to go with. But there's also a blind side that I will touch on later on, that it usually you just need like $1,000, at least with snow, to start the program. But you're gonna need to do a lot of different steps. But as a job experience, it's nice. You're sitting down watching people and just making sure that everyone is safe.
Yeah.
So there is a mental thing to it, and you have to be prepared for that.
Server jobs also do good.
Server jobs are real nice.
They're good with the tips. They're good
Yeah.
with the tips. Restaurant jobs.
Restaurant
overall,
jobs, I love restaurant
especially
jobs.
if you're a cook or a chef. Yeah. Housekeeping isn't bad either. There are some disadvantages. I haven't personally done it, but I know that
Yeah.
there's people can make a lot of money from housekeeping nonetheless.
Yeah.
Like
And
it's
it's also a job that can go wrong as well. Like
yeah.
I've heard both experiences when it
Yeah.
comes to housekeeping.
So-
Either goes well or
So overall, the end of that party, I would say just choose a job that you have researched well enough and that you're ready to take a chance with.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's true.
Mhm.
All right. Next up, we're gonna talk about housing, which is very important. Now, housing depends on your company, as in the company you're gonna work for, the job.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
some of these companies, they have their own housing,
Mhm.
and those housings are usually like cheaper. And I know in some cases that we've known, like the housing is free.
Mhm.
It also depends on the state. But in our experiences,
In my experience, for Walmart, for example, I had to find my own housing, and they don't just leave you like out in the dark.
Yeah.
The sponsor will provide
They
you
will
with a
guide
list
you.
of landlords that you can reach out to. But the thing is, the onus is on you to reach out to them and actually like sort out your own housing. It's literally arrange your own housing. That's why it's termed that. Like for example, I also went to New York, and in New York, the better option was to live with somebody. You have the option to live with somebody like a relative or whoever you have in the area
yeah.
who is close enough that you think that you can make the travel to and from work, and it's not that bad.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It is
Yeah.
location dependent. Because
Yeah, very
New
much.
York housing is gonna be expensive. So unless you're living with somebody there, then it really doesn't really make sense.
Yeah,
Unless you can find like the company that.
but you also your housing,
Yeah, and then
lifeguard housing.
as in that's what I'm saying. It's state dependent, right, or
Yeah.
area dependent. Because my last experience, the housing was not it, right? But in that same area, there were other housings that could have worked, but that area that was provided by the company was not it.
And the price of housing,
Also
when I was
varies.
it depends on the state for real. But
Yeah.
where I was, I paid. When we went to South Carolina, we paid like 100 and what was the first?
There's a
one?
first house.
The first house was
I
like
think it was 140.
140.
It was 140.
and that was kind of steep.
kind of high.
That's kind of steep. But there's other people they're paying like 160, 170,
Yeah.
and them thing there. Usually when you pay so much, the
You
job
get the
is high.
quality.
The job
You
is
also
high
get-
paying and it's a good.
You also
quality
get a
housing.
good quality housing.
But it's a lot
usually.
of money to be
But
spending.
I remember
a
in
week
our experience,
Yeah.
that 140 was not.
It was not worth the house that
was
we were
not
in.
worth- We had to end up leaving.
We ended up leaving, right? So we had to
I
literally
know.
find another landlord.
And it was the other landlord was way better.
It was better. It was
And
better.
it was cheaper.
But I was paying like 140.
We're closer to the place.
120.
Yeah.
How much was your house in a week time?
The last time
Yeah, when you
in
went
Maryland,
lifeguard.
that was 110.
110. So you expect to
It
pay
depends.
at least $100.
At least.
If you're lucky, you get a housing for $100.
Yeah, and I've known people with $100 and them have a nice house. So it all depends.
Yeah. It's just circumstantial. Circumstantial.
Just do your research,
Mhm.
look into all the options, and don't wait too long, because that's what happened with us and that first house that we had to leave.
Yeah.
Because we waited last minute to book a housing, and by last minute I meant like 2 months before, and they were like, nope, everything full up. So we have to wait until we just have to take the last option, and last option was paying $140.
So if you're already secure your housing, that's good.
Yeah.
If you're not secure yet,
Start now.
get on it. And if you're not starting nothing at all,
Why?
just be ready for hit the ground. What's it?
hit the ground running.
Hit the ground running. Make sure
Yeah.
to hear it for that.
Just get on it. Alright, we'll talk about second job, right? Because a second job is where you start make money. A single job, you know, you can make a little money if you have a right job with overtime and something. But most jobs are not going to give you overtime. And it also depends on the state.
When you have one job, you're working to make sure that you like make back your investment, as in the money that you put in to go on the program, you want to make that back. Then you have to think about paying for rent, paying for groceries, daily living expenses, getting things, and having enough money to save up. And when you really subtract all of the expenses and things where you have to make, it can add up to barely anything.
Yeah.
But that's if your job don't get overtime still, because you know enough people will work a single job and then make good amount of money.
It could also just be extra hours. Even if you don't get
extra hours, exactly.
overtime, you get extra hours.
And you
which helps.
pick up other people's hours. Lifeguarding don't really allow for second jobs.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Lifeguarding
you have to like make sure when this goes back to choosing your first job, because it plays into your second job. Like a lifeguarding job is not gonna allow you to get a second job so easily.
Yeah.
Yes, it has happened and it can happen, but it's not as flexible, right?
Yeah. I'll also say that's the same thing for ride operating. I was lucky enough to be able to get a second job that was open for 24 hours. And the manager was very flexible. She was very flexible because a lot of the other J1s who were there also worked at the same amusement park. So she understood, and so she was very flexible. But that's really, like, if you're going to be a ride operator, I would tell you, you can try and look at second job, but just keep it in the back of your mind, say, chances are very low that you'll be able to. And that's because the schedules that they have for us, they change very often. They change weekly.
Another tip is just, again, research the area you go to.
For sure.
Because
for sure.
I think I had enough hours left in the day to get a second job, but the area was not able to facilitate that because most businesses close at 8 or 9 o'clock because it was more of a unstable area. So most places closed after that time, so no second job for me. And also, as a first timer, you have to keep in mind, if you go up there, you're not going to get a second job same time. You have to wait on your social security
for sure
number. So when you get up there, you have to apply for it. It takes anywhere from
like
2 to 4 weeks.
Yeah, it can take 3-4 weeks.
If you're
lucky until you get it quick.
Or if you're like me, it takes 4 or 5 weeks to reach.
So it will take a while, but you're just hoping that, you know, at least you get it within 3 weeks time. But by the time you get it, enough for the second job them will in the area take up like the other J1s them.
Especially the ones that are not first time. So they already have their social security from the year.
Yeah, so you have to think about certain things like that. It can be hard getting a second job, and very importantly, remember, your second job has to be approved.
Expenses. Well, we already touched on all of the expenses, right? We talked about the housing expenses.
So rent.
We talked about rent.
Food for like groceries and stuff. And I guess if you're like getting lunch and you don't want to cook nothing, you have to think about spending your money on fast food. I'm guilty of that.
Yeah, some people guilty of that. And then go up there, them
guilty of that.
Can't bother cook. Uber Eats.
No, it's so easy.
Uber Eats.
It's so easy to spend
your money
on food.
I recommend buying groceries and cooking for yourself. That's the best way to save expenses when it comes to food. Yes, I'm not saying you shouldn't treat yourself in a but
try your best to make it to cook
you can waste
food, even if a
sandwich
or something. Because that money will it adds up.
It'll
It
disappear.
adds up, yeah.
And then there's the travel aspect that kind of plays into it.
Yeah.
Because the comfort thing, Uber, Lyft, that will take your money over time.
If you can ride a bicycle to work, do that.
Mhm.
If you can walk to work, like if it's walking distance, walk to work.
Mhm.
Try your best not to have to use Uber. I fell victim to that. To be honest, when I was in New York, when I was in South Carolina working at Walmart, I had a bike, I had a bicycle, and that was very. That's definitely efficient on
good.
saving
Good.
transportation, because I just paid the like $100 at the start of the program and then never have to pay money again for go to work. But when I was in New York and I was taking the train to work, oh gosh, man! And then when I would miss the train because of how far away I lived, I would be like, if it is that I miss the train at a certain time, I'm late.
Yeah, just cooked.
Instantly cooked.
Just cooked.
Instantly late if I miss that train, because the next train now come till 30 minutes, and then when you take, because 2 train I have to take, when you really mats it up, by the time I reach at work, it's gonna be like an hour after I did for reach. And at that point, why am I bother show up to work at all? So
Exactly.
I'd have to spend money on an Uber, and those Uber prices in New York are not pretty. I
that's what
was
I'm saying.
paying like a bad $40 just
Yeah,
to
that's
get
what I
to
say.
work.
Like, research the area. If it's like somewhere that's bikeable, they will say that, by the way. Oh,
Yeah,
this is a
they'll let you know
bikeable
and stuff.
city or something.
Yeah.
Then bicycle. Get the housing somewhere close where you can walk if possible.
Yep.
Because that Uber thing will add up over time. Next thing we want to touch on is saving. We kind of already went into saving a little bit with the food and the traveling, so to speak. But another good tip that I'm gonna give off personal experience is make sure you can get 2 bank accounts if you have 2 jobs. And just separate them that way. The one where you can save out of and one you use out of. That's a general rule that a lot of people use on work and travel.
Yeah, open 2 bank accounts.
And a lot of those bank accounts will have sign-up bonuses. You can research that, and they can give you money, little extra money for signing up with them.
Something important to note: if you're gonna open up a bank, make sure you're opening up an international bank, not just the state bank. For example, go for like a Bank of America, Wells Fargo, or Chase.
Yep.
So that the card can be used out here perfectly fine and thing, you know. Make sure you take note of that.
Yeah, that's good. If you're young enough, you just get student benefits from some of these banks. Like Bank of America, for example, you don't pay any maintenance fee or nothing like that if you're younger than 25 or something.
Oh yeah, I remember something like that. Yeah.
Which is very important because the fees, then we just take off your money.
Yeah.
If you don't pay attention to it. I guess the last thing
is
really touch on is fun.
Fun, yeah.
Enjoy the experience.
It's called work and travel.
Yeah.
Work and travel. I can speak to this for sure.
Yeah.
The most memorable part of work and travel is when you go out and you experience the place.
That's true.
So literally, like if you're going on work and travel, there's going to be an attraction close by or something fun to do, because most of the places are tourist areas that persons go to. So tourists them I come there for a reason. So you're going there to live, try and experience what that place has to offer.
Because you are a tourist.
Yeah, you basically are. Remember, so if you're in Oklahoma, I don't really know what them having in Oklahoma for do, but try and find something fun for do.
Where I went last time.
We have to spend enough money.
Yeah. Like, for example, Maryland now. Well, where I was in Maryland, there wasn't really much going on. At least where I was. I know that closer down to like the lakes and the beach, they had a lot more going on. But I was more inland, so.
But you had Washington DC.
Oh, yeah.
So stuff like that you can like go.
Like I had Washington DC, but like you can only see it for so many different. I can only see it so many times, right?
Yeah.
But more outside of that,
have fun, make friends.
Yeah.
With the people them. Don't be salty with the people them. I mean, you gotta be living around them for working with them for 3 months.
And you don't want to like work in an environment where everybody hates each other.
Yeah.
You live with these people.
Try being friendly, with respect. Make friends.
Yeah, definitely.
Talk to people. It's a part of what work and travel was. I mean, it was what that English. It was a part of
what inspired.
No, what am I trying to say? It's the reason for work and travel, cultural exchange. Talk with the Dominican Republic, talk with the Kazakhstans, the Turks.
Talk to the Russians. Talk to everybody.
The Nigerians. Talk with everybody. It's
connect.
It's so
just
good.
Connect and talk.
It's so
You'll
fun.
find friends in areas that you never thought.
Hong Kong.
Like we have people that we know from all over.
Literally all
just
over.
random.
Ecuador, Colombia. There's so
Some
much.
of the
So much.
best experiences you can have.
Mhm.
Definitely.
Yep, talking with people and getting to know people. Oh, Thailand.
Yeah.
It's so much.
Yeah.
So have fun while making money.
Yeah. And I recommend just, videoing and documenting while
For
you're
sure.
there.
Take
because
pictures,
even though take
videos.
pictures or videos, did it really happen? Take time for yourself. Like I know that you get, say for example, when you get the tool job them, just turn on like a robot.
Basically.
And when you turn into a robot, it shows. You come down and you look mash up, you look tired, you have money, but you look tired and mash up for the money. You look tired and mash up. And yeah, that's probably not the best. And your mental health is very important while you are there, because you can crash out.
Yeah.
You can crash out in
Yeah.
random ways. You can crash out on other people. You can crash out on yourself. Just make sure you focus and lock in with yourself, or you're actually gonna clock.
Yeah, live in the moment, have fun, enjoy yourself, enjoy the experience. It's an experience for a reason. I made that money.
That's
Things-
that's the general
Yeah.
topic as it relates to work and travel. I know for a fact that we can go more in depth as it relates to Shamar's experience. I think he's gonna document that process.
So,
you should definitely.
I have a lot
look
of
for that.
work and travel videos on my channel.
Mhm.
So you can check it out. I will also be making a video shortly after this about my New York experience,
Mhm.
specifically in New York, because New York, it sounds like a dream and like
Big
the
apple.
best of it, but it is actually, but it's to an extent. It's to an
Yeah.
extent. So I'll be talking about that.
And I'll definitely go more in depth in the lifeguard type of stuff. At least the process, the
Yeah.
signing up,
Yeah.
because I did mention it was cheap, but
There's a lot.
that's not the whole thing,
There's a lot too, man. You're saving people's lives.
Yeah,
So-
there's a lot more
lot
going
to it.
on.
There's a lot to it.
So yeah, that's basically it. If you have any questions,
Comment
leave them in the comment section.
or DM.
Or
DM you.
DMs, DM
DM me. Our answer right here.
The main reason why we're making this video is because we're asked about work and travel a lot. So it's just a little, push it out there so people can benefit from it, at least benefit from our experiences. Thank you guys for watching, and see you later.
Nice.
Yeah.